Okay, how old are you?
How old am I?
Mhm.
I will be 45 in half a month.
Okay.
A couple of days. Yep.
Awesome. And then, how long had you struggled with ED?
I noticed it about 10 years ago starting,
Mhm.
and it's gotten worse ever since then. I got to where I had pretty much no sensation, but
Wow.
um,
When it
yeah.
started, where was it before? Or like where was when it started, and then when did it really get to where you're like, oh man, I gotta take care of this?
So I'm not sure what prompted me. I think I saw a video online somewhere, but really, I've known that it wasn't good for my health. I did I was diagnosed with diabetes a few years ago, and that has prompted a huge resurgence in my own healthcare. I didn't really bother with it before then, but since that, there's so much, everything just decided it didn't want to work.
Wow.
And so, as I was taking care of my diabetes, I realized, you know what? If I can take care of this other thing, let's go on and see what we can do about that too.
Yeah, awesome. What have you tried before coming to Happy Valley Clinic?
For my ED, nothing.
Okay, yeah, good. How did you decide to go with Happy Valley Clinic instead of something else?
I think I wish I could say this better, but you were the first one that I saw, and you were the first one that I called. And honestly, when I first called, I was really embarrassed. And I think it was you that picked up, and you said hello, and I said, I can't do this, and I hung up, and you called me right back, and thankfully you did, because I was still feeling anxiety, but you walked me through it, and I'm glad we started. So that's really what happened. Is it was just knowing I needed to take care of something, and you were the first. And I saw the testimonials before when I saw everything that you sent to me, and I was like, let's just give it a shot.
I'm glad that you did.
Me too.
I'm glad that you did.
Absolutely.
What caused you to choose focused shockwave therapy instead of other treatments?
Well, like I said before, I hadn't tried anything. I hadn't even heard of. I think I've heard of it, but it didn't register what it was or anything like that until you told me about it, and also you sent me those things that I looked into, and I Googled it further, and I liked what I saw. It was worth a foray into giving this a shot. There wasn't anything invasive about it, so just if it works, that would be great. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal. But it has worked, and so that's been great.
Wow, was the process painful at all?
No, not at all.
And then, so you say it worked. So where you were and now where you are?
I had no sensation, none.
Wow.
And I knew there were things that I should be aroused, and I felt no arousal, and literally I just felt like I was a drone moving through my life. And part of it was getting the help that I needed for my diabetes, but I feel so much more myself now than I did before.
Wow. So it helped to increase sensation.
Yes.
Are there other things that you noticed that it helped to improve?
Well, I had no sensation. Men are supposed to get nightly erections, and I got nothing. I would never, ever get an erection or even any sensation. And I don't know how to say this clinically, but there were things that I would see that I would know previous me would be aroused by. There, and even I would see beautiful women, and it would just, there was nothing there.
Yeah.
And I've never had a issue with sexualizing women, like, but at the same time, I never felt like a man. Before I felt like I could not be a man for them.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
And
finding it hard.
good that you were aware of that, right? That it wasn't just like, oh well, this is just part of life. But that you were aware of that and you didn't want it to be that way.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew I could be stronger.
Yeah. And so with the treatments that you've received now, you've received 11 treatments.
Yeah.
And where are you now?
I would say,
Are you having nighttime erections, morning erections?
I am.
Yes.
Yes.
Getting that response that you were just talking about?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
To go from none
Nothing.
to now
Yeah.
you've got it back.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Wow, that's awesome. Have you been happy with the results?
I have been. I've been amazed. I didn't have a whole lot of hope, but it's worked. It really is. And I tell your clinicians here and your techs, like, you know what? This works. You know what you're doing. It's a little embarrassing for everybody, but it works. And so keep doing what you're doing. Also, I would just like to say, I go away from doing these treatments every time feeling grateful that I'm not judged. I know that I've expressed that to a few of your techs, but just, yeah, tell everyone thank you for me, for not.
I will.
I don't feel judged. I mean, this is an embarrassing thing, and it's awkward for everyone, but I never go away feeling like, whoa, he was like, this guy's not a man because he's here, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or anything. It's just, it's treatment and it's clinical, but it works, and I'm grateful for it.
Well, thanks for letting us be here for you, and thanks for sharing that part too. Myself and all my technicians and our physicians, we just care deeply about this space for our patients, and we want to change their life. And thank you for letting us change your life. You know.
Well, this has, and
Yeah.
it's only been 2 months, but I feel much more myself than I have in 10 years.
Wow.
So.
Wow. What do you think about Happy Valley Clinic's process and their staff and your overall experience?
Well, like I just said, I've been very grateful. I came in not knowing what to expect. It's very professional here, and it's very it's not just a professional. It's like it's a positive professional. Like, it's not cold clinician. They're clinical, but they're good at their jobs, and I never go away feeling like I was a burden on anyone for being here.
Wow. Cool. Would you recommend Happy Valley Clinic?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. If someone was on the fence and they're like, man, should I call? Maybe I'll just wait and see if it'll just get better. What might you say to them?
Well, first of all, try exercise, try to get it in shape. But if you don't feel like it is if you don't feel like that part of your life is where you want it to be, it's worth a shot. There's nothing invasive about it. And honestly, while it's not insurance covered, it's still very cheap for what it is. It's worth it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to add?
I think I've said everything that I'd like to say.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate all that you've said. This will help others know that there's hope.
There is hope. Yeah, I didn't think there was for me. I thought My diabetes had just taken everything, and I thought, not only that, I felt myself not being aroused, and I thought that was a mental issue. I thought it was just who I was at this point, and it's been amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome. Cool. Okay, that was wonderful.
Okay.
You're